Hey guys, how you doing? Dervy here, and in this video we're going to be covering Titan Hard Mode. Yep, Titan Hard Mode. This fight is absolutely so much fun. I enjoyed fighting this battle over and over again for me and my team, me and my guild, to perfect a strategy to really take down Titan Hard Mode. So, the first thing I'm going to talk about is our actual party selection. We opted for one tank, so no warrior, and then we opted for 2 scholars and 1 white mage. The reason for this is purely for the DPS side of the fight, and plus we needed extra healing when we were going through the post heart phase, which is known as phase 3, and I'll talk about that later on. But for now, just remember that we use a scholar to use the cleric stance to put in more dots during the heart phase, which if you've done the normal mode, the heart phase of the fight is a massive DPS race, which is why we opted to have a scholar, because he can use his dots. Now, you may be wondering why we are standing where we are right now, we're not doing anything. Well, we're building up limit break. We're building up half a bar of limit break so we can easily take out the hearts in relatively no time at all. This part of the fight is also very important, not just for the limit break, but for the tank. Doing this tactic that we're doing right now, it allows the tank to build up a lot of hate over the healers. And then this way, you won't have Titan randomly turning around and punching one of your white mage healers in the face. So, after the first landslide or the tumult, that is when everybody is now going to start DPSing Titan. You should also take note of our team's positioning. You may notice that everybody, except for the main white mage healer, is standing around the edges of this yellow circle. This is because Plumes that spawn have a rather large radius, and if people are stacked up too close together, it will be very hard for people to get out of it, which is why we keep the center area as clear as possible. Now, for this part of the fight isn't really necessary because the arena is rather large, so there is a lot of areas to get out of. However, we started like this to make sure that we are all prepared for phase 3. Now, the healer can stand in the middle of this part of the fight because he needs his medicus to try and hit everybody in the arena. Now, you may have noticed that Titan jumped up into the air. When Titan jumps up like this, everybody has to go and run towards the tank as fast as they can, whilst avoiding the center area, because his jumps, just like a normal mode, hit harder the closest you are to the middle. And as soon as Titan jumps up, the main healers start pre-casting their medicus to ensure everybody is topped up back to full life. Also, make sure you do not get hit by these landslide attacks, because these landslides chuck you off the edge and there's no way for a healer to come and res you. So make sure to avoid these at all costs. And again, Titan will jump up once he reaches a certain amount of HP, and everybody will then have to spread out and return back to their positions. Now, for the Plumes, there is a set rotation that Titan does, and he does a plume approximately every 20 seconds, which is about every 2 moves. Now, the rotation does actually change from phase to phase, and it does change every single time he jumps up, so please be careful. Now, rocks will start spawning, these bombs, and when the first set of bombs spawn, they spawn in a spiral. And to avoid this, you want everybody to run into the middle, and then watch for the first bomb to explode, and then you want everybody to run into that direction and then spread around in a spiral, clockwise or anti-clockwise. Now, please make sure that you avoid the landslide that comes, because Titan always does a landslide whenever he does the rocks. Now, as you saw there, I got trapped inside this jail. Now, this jail has to be destroyed as fast as you can, and once the jail has been destroyed, the healer then has to go and dispel this debuff on you, and the debuff lowers your determination a lot, which affects your DPS and your healing. Now again, Titan will now spawn a separate type of rocks, and this time in an X cross shape, and the way to avoid this type of rock formation is by standing on the edges, either north, east, south or west of the platform. As long as you're standing in between the two rocks on the edges, you'll always avoid them. And again, as you just saw there, plumes always spawn. So remember, they spawn every 20 seconds, approximately after every 2 moves, and rocks do not count as a skill. Just remember that. Now another jail will spawn, and remember, as the melee DPS, run there only after you see the landslide or the plumes, otherwise you may accidentally kill the person inside the rocks. Now Titan will jump up again, everybody should huddle up, and now we're on to the heart phase, phase 2 of the fight. Now this part of the fight is a big DPS race, so as soon as Titan is up again, you want everybody to then start healing everybody up. And now another jail will spawn, and again only go after the jail after the jail has actually spawned. This is because the jail actually has a little time, like 2 seconds, where the jail cannot be attacked and can only be fully attacked once the jail has properly spawned. Now once you have 2 limit break, you then want the melee DPS to go and use his limit break, which takes about a quarter of his life away, which is quite a lot. Again, Titan will now jail another player, and you want everybody to avoid this player. Do not attack this jail, otherwise you will not take out the heart in time. The player jailed should run towards the edges of the arena, or the middle, so everybody can go and huddle around this jail, and so everybody can take out the jail, and also because everybody can then benefit from the medicas that will be spammed and the AoE heals from the scholars. Now as soon as this part is up, you want everybody to maximize out the healing as fast as you can, especially on the tank, because the tank will then receive a massive hit as soon as Titan jumps back down. And then Titan will then use tumults, and the tumults now hit 4 times, which is a lot. I hope you guys are keeping up with this, because I'm going to be talking a lot now. Now, more rocks will spawn, and they will spawn in a line. The middle one will spawn first, and either left or right or north and south. You want to run to the side where the rocks spawn last. A landslide will also come in the direction where everybody is running to. To avoid this landslide, you must either strafe left or right, and as soon as the landslide explodes, the middle set of rocks will also explode, and this is your cue for everybody to then run into the middle and then run to the far side of the arena in order to do not get hit by these bombs. As the tank, you must stand directly at the edge of the arena, basically to the point where you're nearly falling off, and stand in between both of the bombs to ensure that you do not get hit by any. Now another jail will spawn and take this jail out again after the jail has fully spawned, and after the plume or the landslide has actually hit. Now tumult will then hit again, and this time tumult hits even more, 4 times. Now for the healer, you have to watch out for this. As soon as Titan hits the tank for a lot of damage, Titan may use a tumult. You can easily see that he is about to use tumult when Titan lifts his foot, and as soon as Titan lifts his foot, that is exactly when all of the healers should start spamming their AoE heals as fast as they can. If you are a melee DPS, you should try and position yourself closer to the middle so you can get hit by the medica. This is very important, because tumults will come more and more often, and he will use more tumults throughout the fight. You may have missed it, but he then used a spiral, which is exactly like the first form of rocks that we saw during phase 1 of the fight. Again, run into the middle and then run to the sides where the bomb exploded, and then run clockwise. As you saw there again, Titan hit the tank for hard damage, which is like a massive landslide, and then used tumults, and this time he used 6 tumults. So that's why everybody needs to step up their healing. And you may notice as well, the white mage is no longer standing directly in the middle of the arena. This is so the middle, like I said earlier on in this video, the middle of the arena is clear for everybody to run into when the plumes are spawning. Now I did a bit of a silly move there. I ran directly through the middle. As the melee DPS should either run around the edges of the arena or run through Titan. This is to ensure that you do not accidentally put a plume in the middle and screw up the healer. Now if there is a gel around the healer, you have to take out the gel as fast as you can, because remember, the healers are very important to this fight. And you may slowly start to see why we use 3 healers, because 3 healers are essential for this fight, because now Tumult is about to hit me for about 7 times, and each one it is using is damaging me for 850, which is tremendous amounts of damage. And now he's using the X formation, and the way to avoid this is by standing in the safe spots around the edges. Now unfortunately for me, I was 1 step away from being safe. 1 step. Do you see how much damage these bombs do? Nearly killed me, which is why you had to be very careful, make sure you're completely safe from the rocks. And as you can see there, if you have noticed, the Plumes radius actually increases very slightly. I made sure that I didn't attack the jail or kill the jail until the landslide has fully hit, otherwise that may hit the person trapped inside, and especially because that is a healer. Now as you can see again, right now, Titan uses his heavy attack on the tank, and then he goes back and uses his Tumult. This is why it is essential that the healers step up their massive AoE healing for this part of the fight, because he just used 7 Tumults, and each one hits me for about 800 life, so it is very hard to live through that. Now another set of rocks will spawn, again the line formation, so you run to the side where the rocks spawned last, and then as soon as the landslide goes off, you run into the middle of the room to avoid the rocks, and then go back onto Titan. Now please note that he doesn't always use his Tumults after the big hit. He sometimes uses Plumes. However, it is essential that as the main healer, or as the healers even, that you keep a close eye as to what he is doing, because one false move, one false judgment, and the party could wipe. So the healers have to really be on point and notice exactly what he's about to do, and to start pre-casting beforehand. And right now, Titan is now about to use 8 Tumults on us. 8 Tumults. And each one is hitting me for about 800 life, so the medicus really have to be on point for this part of the fight. Honestly, this is why we chose 3 healers, because the healers need to really, we need healers. Unfortunately, one of our healers were down, so we did kind of struggle with this part of the fight, and so we actually had to use our 3-bar limit break on the healer to ensure that we survived that Tumult hit, otherwise we would have all wiped right then. Just remember to keep avoiding the rocks as they come, and the rocks always spawn in the exact same order, always the same order. So he will do spiral, X, and then lines, spiral, X, and lines, so keep that in your head. Also make sure that you avoid the landslides, because landslides can hit directly through the middle, and if I took down the jail too fast, the poor Parman inside that jail would have got knocked off. And luckily we took out Parman, who was one of our healers, out of the jail on time, because now we are about to be hit for 9 Tumults. 9 Tumults, which is huge. We're getting hit for about, what, maybe just under 6,000, 7,000 life maybe, which is more than double majority of the people's total HP. So, which is why the healers have to really be important, and honestly, if I never took him out of that rock, we would have wiped. Again, rocks will spawn, and in the situations like this, like what happened to me, where I'm caught in between 2 rocks, there's not much you can really do other than fingers crossed, hopefully you live, and hopefully the healer can get you back to full life in time. That is also one of the reasons why we keep the middle area safe, the middle area clear, because if there are too many Plumes in the middle, it will be hard for people to try and avoid the Plumes. Now, this part of the fight where Titan is at low HP, this is the part of the fight where people slowly start making mistakes and can fuck up the fight, which is why you have to keep your cool. And eventually you will get 1-bar limit break, which you can use as the melee DPS, and then you can go and take out Titan. And yeah, that's Titan. That's Titan hard mode. Boy, it was such a ball ache to kill. Hopefully guys, you do not have to go through the amount of work that our team had to go through in order to successfully do Titan. I hope you guys learn a lot from this video, taken as much information as you can from this video, and if there are still any unanswered questions, I will get back to you and reply in the comment section below. If you would like to see more Final Fantasy XIV videos, I will be uploading more and more videos as much as I can on a daily basis, or at least once every 2 days. So please be subscribed for more videos. Hope you guys enjoy this video a lot, and well, I'll talk to you guys later. And also, one last thing, I deeply apologise for the bad audio quality in this video. Unfortunately, my microphone is rather dodgy and the quality of my voice does constantly change, especially when I'm using Audacity to record my voice, so I apologise for that.